Good Saturday morning. How you doing? Hope you're having a great weekend. Beautiful, beautiful weekend in the neighborhood of East Nashville and throughout the Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky. Hello, everybody. What a wonderful weekend. First weekend of May. Greg Pogue, presented by Freeman Webb. We do this at Roy's Meat Service in East Nashville every Saturday morning right here on 94.9 The Fan. We bring in some pretty cool folks, and one of them I've known for quite a while. Our guest today is Jim Arnold. I mean, I was just writing down all the accolades, and it took up a whole legal sheet of all the things that this done. Easily the best punter in Vanderbilt football history, consensus All-American, 4-time All-SEC, on and on and on. Drafted. How many punters get drafted? 5th round. Okay, got that. All-Pro, Pro Bowls, anniversary teams, 50th and 75th for the Detroit Lions. Recently was named one of the top 25 punters of all time in the NFL, and on and on and on. The pride of Dalton, Georgia, Jim Arnold. What's up, buddy?
How you doing, pal?
Hey, hadn't seen you in a while.
I know. It's good to see you.
You still kick. You still get the metaphor here. You're still kicking.
Yes,
You're still kicking.
I'm still kicking. Not literally and not figuratively.
Yeah, not
doing that.
Yeah. So what are you doing these days?
I work at a little nursery. It's on the corner of Sneed.
That sounds like a retired job right there.
And I'm
just to stay busy.
I'm retired, but I'm working part time. I work about 3 days a week at Hewitt Garden and Design Center off of Hillsborough Road, just right off Hillsborough and Sneed. So keeping myself busy there, trying to get to where I'm retired completely. But it keeps me busy, keeps me outside, which is good. Yeah,
12 years in the NFL. I mean, that speaks for itself. Let's start from the beginning. How did you get to Vanderbilt? Because you were in 79 as a freshman, second team all conference.
Yep.
And then 80, 81 in the Hall of Fame bowl year of 82, you were first team all conference. And 82, consensus All-American as the best punter in the country.
Well, this goes back a long ways.
Yeah.
Just when I growing up playing in the backyard, of course, back then that's what everybody did. You got a ball, you're going to, whatever season it is, you're out playing. And as a kid, people want me on my team because when we kicked off, I'm punting the ball and they're not going to return it. So anyway, fast forward, and then I get in high school. And now I'm the punter in high school and I have a little success there in high school. And, I don't think two things about college and then until like my junior year when I'm seeing some guys sign scholarships to different universities. And I thought, that would be cool if I could work a little harder at this and maybe I get an opportunity. Well, I did get an opportunity. Vanderbilt came knocking and asked if I wanted to play there after about a month and a half of back and forth.
Yeah. Who knocked on your door? Do you remember?
Well,
because George McIntyre was the coach, right?
George McIntyre's the head coach.
Right.
Mickey Jacobs and I think it was Monty Crook came down and scouted me at the game at a home game.
Was that at Dalton High School?
Yes.
Dalton High School.
A home game, and then I came up for an official visit, and when I'm leaving there, I had a great time. Got introduced to Whit Taylor. So my grandparents,
the pride of Shelbyville.
Yeah. My grandparents are from Shelbyville.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right.
So there was a connection right away, and then Norman Jordan as well, and those two were, I would say, really instrumental in me getting up to Vanderbilt. Anyway, we get through and talking to the coach after we were about to leave to go back to Dalton, and he told me, he said at the time, Jimmy, I've got a scholarship for a punter. I feel 95% sure I'm going to give it to you. Well, I go home. I'm thinking I'm going to get a call in about a week or 2 weeks, and they're going to come sign me.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get a call. So I get on the phone, and I call up, and as well, it becomes me and a guy from Alabama one week, me and a guy from Georgia or Tennessee the next week. Anyway, this goes on for a month.
But you were the constant that they were judging.
Right.
Off of.
Right.
They were judging off of you. They were trying to find somebody better, really.
Finally what I did, I got Coach McIntyre on the phone. I said, you know how to solve this problem? And he goes, no. I said, why don't you bring us all to Nashville, and we'll just go out in that stadium and we'll kick the ball. because I'm telling you who you're going to pick when it's all said and done. He said, who's that? I said, you're going to pick me. And 3 days later, I said, when can you sign? I said, when can you be down here at Dalton, Georgia?
There you go.
So anyway, and kind of the same story goes in college. I was ecstatic to be at Vanderbilt in the SEC. In freshman year, I'm worried about, let's be eligible, let's get our grades, our classes done. Let's work on what we can for football to be as best as we can be for the team. And then I guess as in and around my junior year, here are guys that they're having a pro day. What's a daggum pro day?
All right.
I had no clue. So I go over and watch them running 40s for pro scouts, and then developed a little bit of a relationship with a few of them. And I thought, now if I really work even harder than what I have worked, I may have an opportunity at that level. And sure enough, coming out of my senior year, the two top picks as a punter would have been me and Reggie Roby. And I ended up going first in the draft, and Reggie went the next round to Miami. And then it was kind of.
Yeah, we'll get to the NFL. Take me back, Jim Arnold, our guest, just one of the best punters ever. Really, let's call it like it is. When's in Dalton, Georgia? Mm-hmm. When did you realize you could kick a dang football? How old were you?
Oh gosh, I had to be like 8, 10-ish.
Really? What connected?
Well, I was always able to kick the ball higher and further than anybody else. But
how?
I don't know. I did it.
Yeah.
And then in junior high, when we played football, we didn't. Back then, you had certain safety rules. So on fourth down, we didn't punt. You said, okay, if I want to punt, they move the ball X yards down the field, and the other team took over. So I didn't do it in junior high. In high school, we get up there, and I'm working out at other positions like receiver and safety and stuff like that. And they said, okay, if you want to try to be our punter, then come over here. I'm going to have some guys go over and kick. So I do that, and then here I am, their punter. And it was one time it was talked about coming up as a freshman to the varsity, but that never really materialized. It's fine to be to be respected that way, but I never got up to the varsity until my sophomore year, and then that was it. I mean, it's basically all I did was punt.
Yeah. The other schools, I mean, certainly Vanderbilt's not an SEC school. I mean, was there any interest? Was there a choice? It just seems like what you're talking is just Vandy or it, right?
Yeah, I had two other official visits, one to Clemson, and then one
was that Danny Ford at the time? I think it was maybe Danny Ford, or I don't know. Yeah,
Charlie Pell.
Yep. Yeah.
Went there, and same story. After the game, it was the last game of the season against South Carolina. It was awesome. And when we meet the next day and we're leaving to go home, Charlie Pell says, we'll be up after the bowl game and sign you. So this was prior to Vanderbilt. I thought, well, I'm going to Clemson.
Yeah.
Well, they go to the bowl game. After the bowl game, he announces he's going to Florida. I don't hear from Florida, and I don't hear from Clemson.
Because that was the Danny Ford transition, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then we beat Florida here my senior year, which, kind of stuck that there. Forget about me. Anyway, and then I went to UTC, which was right next to Dalton, and would have come, but there's a guy named Greg Cater who was there, and he would have been going into his senior season. They said, we can't put you on scholarship until Greg graduates. And my family just was not in the socioeconomic bracket of let us pay for your school for a year. So that kind of pulled that out. I did not want that to be a burden to them. And then obviously it worked out with Vanderbilt. So, and I got communication with a lot of schools, but I never got any other visits. So, I mean, I've got a book my mother put together, all the correspondence that came to the house.
Yeah, back then it was all mail, right?
Oh, yes,
yeah.
Yes. Mail or a phone call.
They didn't text you.
No.
Or
Georgia
email
Tech
you.
called me one morning before school
Yeah.
And I talked to them for 15 minutes. Was probably tired of getting to school, but never heard anything more from Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends from high school, went to Georgia Tech. Didn't play, but I went down there and hung out on Fraternity Row with them for a little bit.
Take advantage of it, right?
Yes.
Jim Arnold is our guest, one-on-one with Greg Pogue, presented by Freeman Webb. We are at Roy's Meat Service in East Nashville. You're looking at some of these stats.
I've already picked out a couple of ribeyes. I'm taking home.
Yeah, that's not and also you notice I sit toward all of the unique sauces and seasonings and everything on that counter. I always set my guests looking at the beer case. Okay, so you got to stare at beer for an hour. Okay,
I'm staring at it.
Yeah, that's what we do here. Do you remember your first day of Vanderbilt practice?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, walk me through that. Oh, yeah. There's a story I can just tell the way you jumped on that.
So here I go. I'm going to Vanderbilt and get to school, ready to get started. Well, the freshmen reported ahead of the upperclassmen.
This is 79, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So here we are at practice, and people are warming up, doing this, that, and the other, and they're like, then they say, Jim, you go over here with the running backs. And running backs coach is a guy named Art Zielinski. Art was a madman when it was around football. Outside of that, looked like he was from California. Bleach blonde hair, tan all the time.
Cool, laid back, yeah.
Yeah, but on the football field, just, an animal. Well, here I am with the running backs, and I'm carrying a football and running through tires and having to hang on and not let the coach rip it out for me. And I'm thinking, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
I came up here as a punter. Well, I'd gutted it out for the 4 or 5 days before the upperclassmen got here, and then that was it. You can go over here and do your thing. And so that was all good.
Yeah. Was there a running back named Matthews at the time?
No, Alma was a tight end.
Tight end, that's right, yeah.
So – but Norman, here comes Norman and
Norman
a couple
Jordan,
of guys that I know.
And Norman's still doing
But I wasn't
radio,
having to do all that with them.
Yeah.
At that time. I was just thinking, what have I got myself into? I came here.
Did they finally realize you're the punter?
Yeah.
What so Coach Mack have to tell them?
I found this out later through Watson Brown that when I first got up there. And
Watson was the offensive coordinator at the time, right?
Not my freshman year.
Quarterbacks?
He came like my sophomore year, I think.
Okay.
But Watson was telling me later, or one of the other coaches told me, said that once I got there and was just doing my punting and everything else, that Coach Mack went to everybody and said, none of y'all talk to him. I'm his coach. That's it. Y'all leave him alone. And it served me well. Coach was I thought was really good. If I was not having a great day kicking the ball, he was pretty good at saying, looks like you're doing this, Jimmy. And so, okay, boom. Let's try to make this correction while I get right back on track really quick. So it served well. I don't know how much really in-depth he knew about punting and the mechanics, but what I do know is he saw things that I was doing wrong, and that got me back into. Because you don't want to get going too long, and it's like golf. You start developing.
Well, we're going to get in there. We're up against the break. I'm going to talk about because I got to be good friends with Al Del Greco, of course, the kicker,
guy.
Right? And I was an amazing golfer.
Yes,
I mean pro level type golfer.
Yes.
Okay, but he also was the kicker, and he just how both of those were so similar and.
Yes.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to what makes a good punter. We're going to get to the run with the Lions and what the Lions are doing now, what Vanderbilt is doing now. Jim Arnold is our guest, one of the best punters, the best punter in Vanderbilt history, one of the best punters of all time, quite frankly. He is our guest, Greg Pogue. This is from Roy's Meat Service, presented by Freeman Webb on 94.9 The Fan. Come on by, and you don't buy these steaks at Publix or Kroger or Costco or Sam's or wherever.
No,
only here. The Wagyu over there is.
Well, you can get that Wagyu. That's a little out of my price range. But I'm sure it's good. I'm not saying it's not.
It's $59 a pound. So an 8-ounce steak's going to run you $30. But you go downtown, that's going to run you 125.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
so you get what you pay for. The ribeyes are right at that mid-level, that prime. It's prime.
Yeah.
Those Wagyu, what you're buying is prime.
Yep.
You don't buy prime steaks at Publix or Kroger. They're not there. Okay, what Jim Arnold? Now we got that meat lesson out of the way. In 1982, talk about that year, the All-American Bowl, that special year. You know, you were consensus All-American. What a special, special moment. You mentioned Whit Taylor. Kurt Page was the backup. Watson was there. Watson Brown, Coach Mack. One of the great years in Vanderbilt football history.
It was
Talk
awesome.
about that year.
Well, it started out, we won our opener. I think we lost to 3 teams that year. I think it was Georgia, Alabama, and North Carolina. And then we're kind of dropped a game or two. Anyway, we come in early in the season and play Florida at home. And Florida, I think, was ranked. I'm not exactly sure where. But anyway, they came in. We were not picked to win that ball game. And you just had a bunch of determined young athletes who got after them. And we ended up beating them and as an underdog. And I really believe that win and that part of the season was a huge catalyst for us the remainder of the season. As a matter of fact, that year we were beating Georgia going in the fourth quarter, and then Herschel Walker happens.
Who?
Herschel Walker. And had we beat Georgia, this is something that people really don't talk about, never really was published, I don't think. Had we beat Georgia that year with the season we had, Vanderbilt would have won the SEC. And
Georgia would not have won the national. Was that the year they won the national championship?
Probably was. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, that win against Florida is one I think that kind of pushed us there. Of course, we're home on a rainy, cold, wet Saturday against Tennessee and ended up beating them by a touchdown, 28-21. And that place was nuts. It was awesome. It was just a great year for Vanderbilt at the time. Now, of course, as a school, we've gone on and we've done, building off of that and done even better now. And I hope that success continues as well. I believe it will under Clark Lee.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that too because in just Vanderbilt athletics, Jim Arnold is our guest here on 101 with Greg Pogue. In that 82 season, you you went into the last 5 games 3-3. Mm-hmm. You won at Kentucky. You beat Virginia Tech at home, Chattanooga at home. And no, let me back it up. You beat Ole Miss at home.
Yep.
And you're talking about that loss to Georgia. You had beaten – actually, you won, 6 of your – you beat Tulane. You beat Florida, which was ranked 14th in the country at the time.
Okay.
At Vanderbilt. You go to Georgia, number 4 Georgia. You lose there in a game, that you talked about. Then – You come home to close the year with a win over Ole Miss, a win at Kentucky, a win over Virginia Tech at home, Chattanooga. Tell me the memory of beating Tennessee. And the date was November 27th, 1982. The place was packed. Mm-hmm. And surely, probably a lot of Vols fans there too.
Oh, yeah.
But beating Tennessee in that last game to go to the bowl game.
That was, I'll never forget it. It was an awesome game, awesome atmosphere. I think the group of seniors that year kind of felt like there were some things that happened the year before in Knoxville. And everybody's going to listen to this and go, oh, that's just sour grapes. And no, it ain't. I can take it film and show you. There was a phantom catch all along the sidelines where the ball hit the ground, bounced back up, and they called it a pass, a catch. We had a touchdown call back where they said that was it Phil Roach or anyway was not on the line of scrimmage, and if you look at film, if he's any more on the line of scrimmage, he's off sides. So we got a little home cooking there, but that's fine. They won the game there, and so you're back in our home, and we just I think everybody was focused that week coming into the Tennessee game, and really were excited about the opportunity in front of them. And on top of that, everybody played a great ball game. So, close, but we still got the W. So That was just an awesome day. I'm going to tell you, I think I was awake for 3 days after that. Didn't go to sleep because we had a big time on campus. That'd been the first time we'd beat Tennessee in a long time, and to do it at home, was even more special. So.
And then the Hall of Fame Bowl in Birmingham. You lose to Air Force, and it really was a great game.
Yeah.
I was looking attendance at that game. 71,000 people were at the Hall of Fame Bowl game.
And you got to look at it because you got a team, Air Force.
Yeah.
And I know that 71,000 was not all Vanderbilt fans. I think I'm a large majority.
Well, yeah, our Air Force isn't going to travel like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to have a team that is from that far away and have that kind of attendance in that game is fantastic.
Tell me about Coach McIntyre. What was it like to play for him? Because you've told us
I
little
enjoyed
snippets.
it because I believe Coach and I had a really good relationship there. And for me, he let me kind of do my thing to get better and to be as fine player as I could for him. And that was always something that if I'm in that environment, I'm going to flourish and I'm going to do very well. And he was always good with that. I remember, I might have had a little problem, a little bump in the road school-wise, and if I did, I went straight over to the athletic department. I was forthright, told them, said I want to come to school in the summer to make this up, and never was not eligible, but to make sure that we didn't have to have a scare. And he was just always, that's fine. No problem.
Such a gentleman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and I think George at the time with that staff was able to get people in place and manage that staff the way you should. Of course, he brought in two key players. Watson was one of them, and then Doc Crease, who came in as our strength and conditioning coordinator, and also an inspirational leader for the guys as well. And that I truly believe those two were the ones that were key in our success as we went forward with them coming on staff.
His grandson, Coach Max, the quarterback at Tennessee.
Yes.
Just let you know that.
And I know his dad.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
well, and
I had to go out in the stadium.
And his uncle Mike, right? Yeah.
I had to go out in the stadium and kick balls around for their birthday one year.
All right, there's a story. What?
Yeah, Matt Matt wanted me to come out for his birthday, so here we are in the stadium, and I'm hanging around with him. Kicking balls. I don't know
how old was he?
He's going to have to call in to you because I don't remember.
Yeah.
But he's a little fella. And so we did. I had a great time. So, but that's Matt's son.
Yeah.
And I've lost where Mike is at now after Colorado.
Yep. I think he was at FAU or FIU, somewhere there. I don't know. Obviously, just an extraordinary coach as well. I'm going to put. We got the other half of the show. We got 12 years of the NFL to talk about as well coming up and everything. But when you put a bow on the Vanderbilt, your era there, 4 times All SEC, first team, second team as a freshman, third, then that 82, you're an All-American, consensus, the best punter in the country. What do you take away the most from your Vanderbilt days?
I think I take away the most is that group that I graduated with that were freshmen, including guys who were redshirted. That would be Witt, Norman, and some others. But I think you had a group that stayed together because really our first year was terrible. We were 1-10. We went in arithmetic progression: 1-10, 2-9. 4-7.
Well, you had 6 losing seasons in a row for the program. Yeah, since Steve Sloan's run, right?
Yeah, and they just hung together. We became, all of us, I think, became pretty good friends with one another.
Yep.
I know that I would love to see anyone I haven't seen in years at a function, but I think just hung together like that and said, we're not going down like this. All of us came out of winning programs from high school. Some more so than others, but, all of them were winning programs. And just hung together. Some guys found their role on the team, did great, and just were contributory to that. And I think they were all supportive of one another. no matter if you were offense and I was special teams or defense, and just cross the teams of the game.
Halfway through the show, we've talked about the Vanderbilt days. Punter Jim Arnold, 12 years in the NFL, most notably with the Lions. We'll talk about his pro days. Those were the pro days, not your pro day, but your pro days with Jim Arnold. This is Greg Pogue, 101. Freeman Webb presents it. We are at Roy's Meat Service in East Nashville, right here on 94.9 The Fan. Hanging out in East Nashville, guest this morning, Jim Arnold, one of the best, the best punter in Vanderbilt football history, one of the best in SEC history, and also, the Lions. He was on their 50th anniversary team, their 75th anniversary team, one of the top 100 Detroit Lions ever, and also recently named one of the top 25 punters in the history of the NFL, Jim Arnold. Jim, take me back to 1982. You were drafted in the 5th round by Kansas City. Way I remember things, punters don't usually get drafted.
No.
What was that day like? I mean, did you think you were going to get drafted? It's not like today where.
I did.
But it's not like today. They have all the big screens.
I was at a friend's house.
Yeah.
Both which have since passed. But back then, we knew when it was. They said, we need a phone number where we can get in touch with you. So I asked, can I just hang out here those days? And they said, sure, come on. So we did that. First day, of course, nothing happened. But what we were hearing from some of the guys that, like I told you, I'd gotten to know or create a relationship with a couple of the scouts that came in from a couple of different combines, were saying that of Reggie and I, that there was a possibility that we could have gone in the 2nd or 3rd round. So you're kind of hanging on to hope a little bit. And then finally you get the call and, Kansas City takes me 119 overall in the 5th round. So that was pretty cool there. And then Reggie, of course, went the next round. But I say that only because Reggie was a great punter. And he was a great
The
guy.
late Reggie Roby,
yes.
Well, I got to know him when he punted for the Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there are times when you get mentioned in somebody's great company, and it's a very much of a compliment. And that's the way I take it ever if I'm mentioned in his company. But I knew what he did in college. He knew what I did in college. And we talked about this at Charlie Mack's tournament out at Richland way back. When he moved here, we were sitting there talking, and I think both of us kind of kept an eye on what the other one was doing, and that pushed us to want to do better. So that was, in my opinion, I'll always treasure that.
The Kansas City Chiefs, when I think of you, I think of the Lions,
Yeah.
right? But you were 3 years in Kansas City, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. Tell me about those years.
They were kind of up and down in that I came in my rookie year and was ready to go. Really was. And then my rookie year, they wanted me to directional kick. I'd never directional kicked in my career. I mean, I just came out of college ball, number 1 in the nation, number 2 in that. Number 2, I can't remember. I was 2-1 in net yards, punting, and everything else. And I thought, why are you wanting me to directional kick? I just came out of college, and you drafted me off those statistics. Well, struggled a little bit my rookie year. Second year I was there, they came in and said, hey, we're just going to have you kick down the field, and we'll cover it. I said, okay, great. Well, guess what happens? I lead the NFL.
Well, that was statistically 84 was the best year, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you led the NFL in 44.9, and then you had all the other stuff, 13 touchbacks and all that. But 84, you led the league. You punted the most times too.
Oh gosh, yes.
98. You punted 98 times. Yeah. The most total yards in NFL, and 44.9 led the NFL.
Yeah, lead the NFL.
Yeah.
So you figure you'd learn something, right?
Yeah.
No, third year they go back to the same thing. So going into my 4th year, I'm not stupid. I know something's going on. So we draft a kid out of in the 6th or 7th round out of Auburn. I came in that year in best shape of my life, ready to go, all this, and so I get cut, and I'm out in 86 for 10 weeks of the season, work out for 5 different teams.
So you were cut the year after leading the league in punting the following season?
No.
Yeah.
It was the season after that.
Okay, at 85, after 85.
Right.
Right, okay.
So here I am. What are you going to do? So right now we get
Take
in.
me to Detroit.
Well, I don't get any calls to work out for anybody for 3-4 weeks. So now it's starting to set in. What is reality going to be? And so I start, it's a bitter pill to swallow because you got life left in the league, but is it going to be there? So I'm starting to look at, are we're going to take a path that's going to take us away from ball, and started working in that direction just for my sanity. While I kept working out, then like I said, I worked out for the first call, I think was Detroit. Went up there, had a great workout. Had 4 others with other teams, had great workouts. And then 10th week of the season, I get a call from Detroit and want to sign me. So I'm off to Detroit, end up finishing that season very well. It's 3 or 4 kicks shy of qualifying for league statistics. Had I done it, I'd been number 1 in the NFC, probably number 2 in the NFL. Here's the funny part. I come back in 87, and I get cut. After the last preseason game, I get cut from the Lions. So I was like, heck, y'all are getting, that kind of stuff. I get in my vehicle. I come all the way home. And they start the season with Russ Lurchslavin. First punt of the season. He rips his abs. I mean, as dark as my shirt from here and there in between. So then I'm out dove hunting here in Nashville with a friend. And this is wild because I had sublet my apartment to a couple that I knew. So
back in Detroit?
No, here.
Here, okay.
In Nashville. So here I am. I come in after hunting, and then the people that were in my apartment comes running to me. You got to call the Lions. You got to call them now. I get on my phone. I got messages from Eddie Murray, the place kicker. Mm-hmm. They were pretty explicit about me loading up my stuff.
Yeah.
And getting in my car and driving to Detroit, and then finally talked to the Lions, and they're like that. So I said, I'll be up in about 8.5 hours.
Yeah.
And came up, signed, and, strike short in the season, but still made the Pro Bowl that year. And then after signing a 1-year deal, was trying to work on another deal, and was told I was a flash in the pan, didn't never happen again, and go to back-to-back Pro Bowls.
Yeah. Well, 87 All-Pro, 8 in that All-Pro, there's a Pro Bowl, but that All-Pro, you were the number 1 at your position.
Right.
88 second team, 87, 88 All-Pro, you're on the 50th and the 75th Detroit Lions, all anniversary teams, top 100 Lions. And so when I think of Jim Arnold, I don't think you finish your career with the Dolphins or you start a career with the Chiefs. You're a Lion, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's it like going back and the success this run they've been on right now?
It's
pretty
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
It's really awesome. I took a buddy of mine from here in Nashville, said, do you want to go up to homecoming weekend? Of course he did. So I took him up so he got to go kind of behind the curtain, if you will, and see other guys, how we interact and all that. And the game was electric. Of course, we ended up winning the game. But it is just – that atmosphere is so good in Detroit. I'm just really hoping that they get the ultimate prize down the road. That city deserves it so much. But it's a great place. It's a great sports town, and they've got great sports fans. And if you're not playing that good, they're going to let you know. And if you are, they're going to let you know that as well. But I had a great time. I've got a really soft spot in my heart for the city of Detroit. I really do.
I'm on the sideline. I'm punting, right?
Yep.
Okay, and you have a job to do. How much did you allow yourself to watch Barry Sanders?
Every time he's on the field.
I mean, my gosh, what was that like? Being not around him, he's a great person, what
awesome
practice,
person.
But and he retired on his own terms,
yep.
right? But tell me about Barry Sanders.
Barry is an awesome guy. If he walked into someplace, he doesn't have a posse with him coming in.
Yeah.
And very humble. But if the offense was on the field, you weren't sitting on the bench. You were watching. And there was not a game. Not one game that he was in that you were standing by somebody and you didn't poke them and go, "Did you see that?" And they're watching the same thing.
Yeah.
And so
you didn't go sit on the bench waiting for the call, right?
No. You want to see what he's doing because that talent is something that does not come along every year. And Lawrence Taylor has even said that he thinks that's the best of all time, period. You saw what he did. He stayed with a team who was not a good team. We made the playoffs a few times while I was there. 91 get to the NFC Championship game. We lose to Washington, who was quite frankly a better team than us. But we got there, and then it just seemed like from that point – they really didn't try to put the pieces in place to keep that headed in that direction. You had guys that ended up leaving, going to different teams. You were not, Chris Spellman left, Lomas Brown left, Kevin Glover ended up leaving, Benny Blades left, I left. It's tough because you're letting core leaders leave, and it's hard to develop that camaraderie, if you will, and leadership going forward doing that. And so, and then, of course, they go through different iterations of GMs and coaches for years, and finally they get Dan Campbell in there, and Brad Holmes is a GM, and these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah. All right. Jim Arnold is our guest. Punter, how many passes did you throw in your 12-year NFL career?
2.
Pro Football Reference has 1. So you had 2. You were 0 for 2.
No, I'm sorry. That's correct.
Yeah, I know. I know what I know what the 2 is. So you were 0 for 1 passing.
Yep.
Okay, and you in 1984 you had 1 rush for no yards, but in 1991 you had 2 rushes.
That's right.
And for 42, you averaged 21 yards per carry.
That's right. And here's
so 2 jailbreaks, or were they called play? Were they called fakes? What were they?
No, both of them were not called plays.
Yeah.
One, I had a snap that was a little left, so I moved over to get it, and as I caught the ball, I could just see the left side open up, and I took off.
Yeah.
So I went for 21, got a first down for us, and everything was good. There's a story behind that, too. And then another game, that one was against Miami, the other one was against Chicago. And then the game, the 0 for 1 on the pass was one of the first years I was up there, and we're playing New Orleans. It's late in the game, and we had an audible call, if you will, for basically if the wideout, the gunner is not covered.
Yeah.
That's called. The problem is we had 2 guys that went down at that position for the injury that in the game, and we have a rookie in there, and anyway, I didn't make the call, but the call's made. I can hear it being made, and I looked over there at him. He kind of looked back at me just as a glance, and so okay, we're on. So I take the ball, take a couple steps, hit him in the back of the helmet.
0 for 1 NFL passing.
That was under Darryl Rogers' era, and so the rest of the week was, we wouldn't do it at that point in the game. We wouldn't done that before the field. I said, I can't go back in time. I don't have a flux capacitor to get in a DeLorean and go back.
You punted 866 punts in the NFL. Only had 5 blocked.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a very low number for that many punts.
I hope so.
Yeah, you hope so.
Because
only 5 blocked.
I know we had a couple where we had some issues up front. And is interesting. I think against Pittsburgh, had one blocked, so I jump on the ball.
Yeah.
And everybody's jumping on you trying to get the ball, and they don't. Here's the official getting everybody off. He's right there. I said, okay, Lions ball, first down. He goes, no. I said, yeah, they blocked the punt. I recovered it. That's a first down.
Yeah.
Because we can't do that. I said, yes, you can. You can do it one time in your career. You can turn around and say, first down Lions. And he goes, no, I can't do that. I said, come on. I said, you don't have a hair on your backside. And he goes, I can't do that. And he's kind of laughing at me as he's walking forward. But I was working hard to give it to us. So.
Hey, Jim Arnold is our guest. We're going to take a break, be back and wrap it up with him. This is 101 with Greg Pogue, presented by Freeman Webb, Roy's Meat Service in East Nashville, right here on 94.9 The Fan. Got a few more moments with Jim Arnold. 101 with Greg Pogue, presented by Freeman Webb Roy's Meat Service. Next Saturday morning, our guest will be former Titans offensive lineman Jason Matthews. He's now the athletic director at Brentwood Academy.
Oh, good for him.
So talk to Jason. So Jason's going to be coming by next Saturday here.
Super.
We'll have fun with that. Obviously, the Titans conversation, but also what's going on with Brentwood Academy and everything.
Yeah.
A little shout-out to one of our buddies, Milton Francis.
Yes.
Great dude. He texted you and said you were sounding good. Didn't say anything about me, but said you were sounding good.
I appreciate it, Milton.
Yeah.
You know I love you, brother.
Vanderbilt right now, I've talked to quite a few Vanderbilt folks. Let's just
Okay.
stick with football, but right now, let's go overall. What Candace Lee has put in place, there were some question marks in my mind when David Williams passed.
Mm-hmm.
She became the AD. Certainly her pedigree, heart, everything, former player, all the things that goes into that. But she seems like she's hitting every right button. It starts at the top. Chancellor Dearmeyer is where it starts. But football, men's basketball, women's basketball, certainly baseball, we know what it is, all the other sports as well.
Yep.
Is this the best of times for Vanderbilt athletics?
I think it is, and I hope that our chancellor never leaves, because I think for the first time in a very, very long time, you have a chancellor who understands what student athlete is, how can I support them, and then how can we build athletics within this. There's no reason why you can't if you've got it there, and you can do that without compromising academics. And he has been very supportive of that. I've been there at a time when the chancellor told me we were blah 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 in front of the whole team, and it was completely the opposite once we got out of that little meeting. But I think again, she's made some very, very astute moves. Clark, I told Clark when I first met him, I said, when they mentioned your name, I'm not blowing smoke. I wanted you here because you've been here, so you know the culture.
Well, you know how the sausage is made.
Yeah. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So, and he's done a wonderful job. Of course, Corbs is without, comment there. I mean, he's great.
He's got the pelts on the wall.
Absolutely.
And still very competitive in this NIL world.
Right.
Vanderbilt, we've talked about this, was slow to the NIL world. They seem to have caught up.
Well, they've got caught up with that. I think where Vanderbilt too has kind of positioned themselves, even at first when NIL was another thing, you had to have that money, but then the portal is finding these kids who are good players who were maybe at a smaller school.
Diego Pavia,
and bringing
Eli Stowers,
and bringing them into Vanderbilt, and it's served a great purpose for Vanderbilt, and they kind of figured that out. They've been very smart in figuring that out, which has helped. Now basketball's doing the same thing, and then we've got we're on the precipice of something special in that area.
Men
we've
and
got
women.
Soccer, we've got golf is doing well, men's golf, volleyball, bowling.
John Williamson's son, Rocket Rod's son.
Yeah. So.
Oh, by the way, thank you, Milton. Texted me. You always sound good, Greg. Thank you. All right, we just got a couple minutes.
Okay.
What makes a good punter?
Well, I think first of all, you got to have a strong leg, but you got to have confidence. You have to have good mechanics, and you have to trust.
What are the mechanics?
Well, that's kind of hard not showing you, but you've got to be able to, drop a ball which comes and hits the ground and it bounces up or maybe slightly back.
So how much do you practice just the drop?
Hundreds of times a day.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because that's 90% of the kick. Then I want to hit it consistently on my foot.
What part of the foot?
It's right on the laces, right on your outside eyelets, on the laces. And then I've got to put all that together and do everything in a consistent way, much like you do a golf swing. I can swing at a golf ball, but if I don't contact it correctly, it ain't going where I want it to go. Mm-hmm. If I don't swing with enough speed, then it's not going to go as far as I want it to go. But I've also got to be able to control all that, all being said. And then I've got to, once I'm able to control it, then I've got to have confidence and trust it in that situation. When you do that, you've got a recipe for success.
Jim, thank you, man. Always fun.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's been too long. You did this show, we did it, 7, 8 years, 10 years ago. Who knows how long.
We got to do it again soon.
Always invited.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know you're all. I'm surprised you're not already running out the door with those 2 ribeyes.
I'm about to go get a hold of them.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to thank Jim Arnold, certainly the best punter in Vanderbilt football history, for joining us here this morning. We'll be back. Hey, next Saturday, Jason Matthews, former Titans offensive lineman, now the Brentwood Academy athletics director. All that right here from Roy's Meat Service in East Nashville, 94.9 The Fan. Have the great rest of your weekend.